What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of The Triangle. This is your boy D.
And it's CJ.
Why do Black parents have to be so fucking extra?
I've been asking myself that shit for 33 years.
Listen, I just thought about a time today where instead of just telling me no, my dad had to say some hurtful shit.
Man.
So I was all excited overseas because I missed out on two big movies. One was Romeo Must Die. Didn't get to see that shit.
Oh, I saw that in Japanese.
Still heard about it. And then the other was the Scooby-Doo movie because I like the cartoon Scooby-Doo.
Right.
And Sarah Michelle Gellar was going to be in it, and I like Buffy. So I was like, oh my God, I'm going to do my chores, and I'm going to go see the Scooby-Doo movie.
Mm-hmm.
My brother had cooked something, and there were still some dishes in the sink, but I figured he was going to clean them. So I'm like, okay, Dad, can I go see Scooby-Doo? I finished everything. This nigga told me I better Scooby-Doo those dishes. And then after I did the dishes, I still couldn't go because it was late. Like the sun was in that weird setting period. And I'm like, why couldn't you fucking
tell me that before I started doing these damn dishes?
Black parents are so extra. I'm Brandy, by the way. So fucking extra.
I'm digging this mouth thing, y'all. For real. Like, look.
You like it a lot.
It smiles with me. Like, I didn't think it was gonna do that. Look.
Yeah. That is some creepy ass shit.
I really like it. I think it's cute.
I think I might have to use this for one of my costumes because I need like 3 of them this month.
Hey, do this. Do like you're trying to chew something really fast.
What?
I don't like it. I don't like it, not one bit.
Ooh.
Hell no.
Dude. For those who want to inquire, this is from the Dollar Tree. They coming up. Look at this.
Not they coming up.
With you.
Coming up. So for those of you that can't see us, CJ is wearing this strange mouth thing, this costume.
This sexual
What
mouth.
is it? A fish?
I think it's a
dinosaur,
but it's real creepy. I don't know, but it's creepy as hell. I really like it. So, like, I might go get the other ones too.
I like that you just keep doing this.
When you turn to the side, it looks very, very ominous. I don't
it's
like
a fishy.
Oh, that is crazy.
She just is in the mall with that on. And she just eats fries watching people.
Scared the shit out of your little dog.
Oh my
Your youngest one is about to piss herself.
Oh,
have you worn that in front of her yet?
Heather's not scared of anything. There's skulls and skeletons all over my house all year round, so she's not really.
You're not gonna have a mama born on Halloween and then have your kids scared of that shit.
Mm-hmm. And she born in October too. That's her shit too. She gonna have to love it.
My October baby.
Oh my God. Anyway, I can't really talk like this all night, so I'm gonna take it off.
Yeah, take that scary shit off, please. Thank you.
He is over it.
Yeah, that is creepy looking shit. I don't like it.
I really like it. This is amazing. Oh my God. It's like super stretchy and comfy too, y'all. So
you should look into like some, what's that called? Liquid latex. If you can do like an aesthetic with that would be pretty
That's
dope.
what Brandy
Liquid
said.
latex is the shit.
Oh my God. I might just do that. Maybe my whole
family. What are you
drinking,
Brandy? That's some creepy shit. What is that dark red shit you just took a sip of?
Blood.
Don't mind your fucking business. How about you do that? That's what I want for Christmas.
You know what? Listen, guys. So everyone, this is part 3 of our Bloctober Spooksville Spectacular series. Today we're going to be talking about. I forgot. I'm sorry, Brandy. What were you doing?
I
so terrible.
Besides our dancing.
Yes, because you distracting the shit out of me.
You're professional. You're professional.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to do a story about this woman named Cora, who was a witch, allegedly, in the Cora tree on Hatteras Island in North Carolina.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So can I submit this for the Midnight Society? Is this my time? Oh, my God.
Where's my sand?
Where's my sand? And my glitter.
No.
So just reading off my notes here. So sorry if you guys don't get this lovely eye contact on YouTube.
No, you're good.
Cora lived in Frisco and the center of Briglands Bay, North Carolina. So basically that's just off the coast.
Mm-hmm.
Which, fun fact, a little further than that is where they finally captured Blackbeard and all his shit went down.
Oh.
So keep that in mind, because I know we always talk about either people dying or traumatic events happening, and then that just kind of almost being a hot spot for that energy to be attracted to.
Mm-hmm.
So in the early 1700s, she was living in a forest with a baby that she carried around everywhere. They said she never put the baby down, which doesn't sound too crazy because you're like, well, who's going to just put a baby down? But you're by yourself. You're not always going to be able to carry that shit. So keep that in mind. Anytime Cora came to the neighborhood, they said weird shit would happen. A cow she touched dried up. A child who mocked the little baby grew like deathly ill, like that nigga almost died. Oh. And then the fishermen stopped catching fish in the same place where she would catch hella fish. So after that, they were like, something's not right.
She a witch.
Bitch gotta go.
Listen, and you already know back then they was not playing since 1700. So if you knew 2 + 2 was 4, you were a fucking witch, let alone if anything else was going down. So they said one day a body washed up on the beach with 666 burned into the forehead. So then they said that there were smaller footprints because apparently men can never have small feet. So they said the small footprints went back into the woods. And so they figured it's got to be the female's footprints. It's got to be Cora.
Right.
A captain from Salem, Massachusetts named Eli Blood that heard the stories about Cora decided to come down and do a test and basically prove that she was a witch.
What the fuck is this witch test he's about to do?
Listen, because this is where shit gets interesting. Side note, there's records of a blood family coming from Salem, no Eli. Everyone else, family? But Eli.
The last name Blood.
So there's a blood family like line coming from Salem, no records whatsoever of an Eli.
I'm thinking like it was niggas in red, like we from Massachusetts. We from Massachusetts, you know what I'm saying? Like,
you are so gang.
Sorry.
Blood in, blood out. So these we can't do shit right.
Sorry.
So these were the tests that they did to see if she was witch. They grabbed her, they grabbed this little baby, they tied her up and threw her into shallow water and determined if she floated face down, that was one fail, which she did, right? Then after taking her from the water, they tried to cut her hair. Now, they don't let you know how thick this girl's hair was, if she had it in one of them braids, because them bitches back then ain't have the shit all out.
Right.
But he tried to cut her hair in front of the townspeople, and he had like, he had freed slaves with him, by the way, too. So from where they were.
So he had some niggas with him.
He did. So they was already on like a hoodoo voodoo trip where anything they hearing about witch shit, they like, nah, we ain't. So they were already impressionable, right? And mass hysteria was already breaking out. So you got some guy from Salem coming down talking about it's a witch. You're going to believe that shit. So listen to the last shit they did. And then we gonna talk about this before I keep going in.
Uh-oh.
So he grabs a bowl and he makes all the freed slaves prick their fingers to put blood in the bowl. And he mixes
Why
it
just
with
the slaves though?
Listen. No, you got some other people around there too, like folks just watching because you want to have people account that's not just your people. That way they can't say anything biased was going down. He did it too.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And he puts it in the bowl and he's stirring this shit up. And then he looks in it and he asks, after he looks in the bowl, he asks them what they see. And then they're saying, oh, they see the devil or they see Cora's name and everything else. Now we're going to pin that shit right there. Because technically the shit he did was blood magic.
Right.
To try to prove that someone else was a witch, but nobody else.
He did magic himself.
He did magic. Nobody else clocked him on that. So 2 strikes against him because 1, there's no records for you. And 2, you're basically a fucking warlock. Trying to prove somebody else in. Yeah. And for those listening, the user, this is what they're saying about blood magic. The user has power in their blood, which anybody who's been churched out or not has heard about power in the blood.
The blood.
No matter
the
what
blood.
you believe in.
It's the blood.
Right. Blood.
Oh my God.
You hear about that shit all the time, right? And they say this is an ancient version of magic that predates word-based magic and considered to be more powerful, which of course always makes sense with blood sacrifices and all that stuff.
Right.
And then they say that people would do this, of course, when they're trying to get in contact with the spiritual world, do spells, rituals, whatever. So I can, and this is just my theory, if I'm doing witchcraft to catch a witch and y'all saying y'all see the devil and everything else in there, you probably saw what I wanted you to see.
Yeah.
Because I just got your blood and did a spell in front of all you to prove what? Now, I don't know what type of payroll anybody was, if they killed like 20 witches per quarter, if they got a bonus in gold or what, but that shit was really weird to me. So after they did all that, it was like, all right, that's a wrap for her. She's a witch. Mm-hmm. So they decide to tie her and burn her to an oak tree. Now we're push pinning on that because apparently in this area, they were not burning and getting rid of witches in that way or tying them to a tree. There was like a guy named Thomas Smith was there too because they wanted to try her because there were trials first. So the fact they went straight to sacrifice, something else weird was going on too, you know.
So he wants to get immediately to that shit. So he might be needing her blood and her soul and all that bullshit.
He wanted, and if she's a witch too, and if I know this, something ain't right. Like we're gonna be off rip, right? So anyway, they got a large oak tree, got in front of a large oak tree. Now we're going to push pin on that because something told me to look up oak trees, right?
Look at her.
So you'll catch that moment on YouTube. So Native American children used to play tag tree, where touching a tree provided the person safety. Traditionally, this tree was the oak tree. Many Native Americans viewed the oak tree as a symbol of strength with many supernatural powers. And then they said the traditional knocking on wood was coming from that too, which I was like, okay, cute, schooling people on that. Now, what was also interesting is that they tied that to Celtic religions with, because it was often struck by lightning, they dedicated that to Odin and the rest of them. So then that gets into Thor shit, but it's still carried across the board as oak is a powerful wood in regards to magic. And with the Druids, the ashes from, now remember this, the ashes from oak wood fires were deemed to be magical. Jot that shit down in your head. These ashes.
Is that what they was throwing in Are You Afraid of the Dark? Was that?
The oak ashes, bitch. They said these ashes were said to protect the bearer from lightning and fire. Keep that in your fucking head.
So was that?
Listen, and it would purify the atmosphere. And some people use it in incense and everything else like that today. Some uses ashes as magical talisman and spell weaving for good health longevity. So Tom Smith, the cat I told you earlier that knew blood was tripping, was like, look, we got to get her to try all this ain't right. So before he could even run off and basically tell other people, he got him and some of the buddies that pricked their fingers to go ahead and tie this girl to a tree. So when they tie her to a tree, they say right before they get ready to really burn her, the baby's eyes turn green and the baby turns into a cat, which goes into what we were talking about before with familiars.
Yeah, familiars.
Oh,
so the baby turns into a cat. And then they say on a particularly clear day, a huge ass cloud rolls in and it strikes the tree she's at with lightning and a whole bunch of smoke and ash everywhere, right? So when we just said, this was me, I heard about this story before I even looked up shit on oak tree. So to hear that magical properties, the ash covers and protects, ash clears and everything else, Cora is nowhere to be found. The word Cora is burned into the tree. Like to this day, they say.
Like I was gonna say, if the tree ashes is protecting her from the fire, then nothing happened to her.
Nothing. They say it split the tree because they say the only two things left from her was it split the tree. So now the tree is all kind of like this. And the word Cora is in the tree, but people that have researched and everything else said there's no way a knife did it because I guess it's different how a knife carves into a tree versus something that looks like it was grown into it. When I saw pictures, it literally does look like.
Wait, there's pictures?
Oh yeah, there's pictures. You can look it up.
That says Cora on it?
Do that. And the way it's written, it's weird. It's just weird. So I was like, damn, this was an interesting ass story considering everything that I just kind of heard about it in witch trials, but also knowing if you are a witch and you kind of predicted this, that was your way out, especially if you knew that the oak tree wasn't going to hurt, like being struck by lightning.
So my thing is, though, I think Dee might be on this. No, you might be on the same page as me. So then Cora and Eli were together.
That's what I'm thinking.
Right? Because there's no record of him.
Because there's no record.
And that bloodline.
And get this. So either before this, because I'd have to look it back up again, because I remember listening to something about it. Either before or after this is when all that weird shit happened with the Roanoke people missing. around the same area. Like the coast of North Carolina had a lot of weird shit.
Right.
Like a lot. So that has to be one of, I would not be surprised if we did our research at the Triangle. There were some type of vile vortex there. I would not be surprised. Because ain't no way you have that many people missing, whether it's because of magic or whether it's because of Native Americans taking you and then performing shit that they wanted to do. You know what I mean? Just to maybe protect themselves or clear their lands out, whatever the fuck may be going on.
Because they knew they were colonizers.
But after I researched this and was like, what do you mean? Like Tom Smith, you can find information about him.
Right.
You
so
can't find nothing about Eli. And then you don't hear about Cora or none of that shit ever again.
So I want to see this, but you're going to have to send me a link of this picture
I'll look up to try to see if it's
the
clear.
Cora.
The tree is already creepy looking, right?
Because I would like to add it at the bottom of our YouTube description so people can go look at the tree.
Or the thumbnail. Check it out. That's creepy ass shit.
Link it up.
And it's weird too because the name is like
it's so crazy.
That's what's really weird. Like
it's smooth.
It's smooth into it. And then the rest of the tree is like grown around it. So it's almost like it's concaved in.
And it's crazy because tree, I don't know.
Oh, that's wow, it really is there. Oh my God.
And it doesn't look like, you know how it looks when you're like, oh,
like carving it in. Yeah, no, that's definitely not carved in. But oh my God, I'm gonna have to look at that.
They say it's like was website. Like seared in, and then the tree is just like.
That's so crazy, y'all.
It's a weird ass tree. Like, so yeah, that was probably one of my favorite sort of witch stories because I'm like, she was literally minding her business. And y'all just didn't like her in our town. Because I'm like, for those that maybe don't 100% believe in witches, if I got a witch that moved into the town, I'm going to leave that bitch alone. I'm not making fun of y'all. I'm not. And the fact that she chose to live in the woods, she clearly wasn't there to fuck with y'all.
No. Right. She just wanted to be left alone.
In the woods, and y'all decided to mess with her.
Well, that's because people always want to go out of their way and impose their shit on other people. Leave these motherfuckers alone.
Especially the caucasity. Let's talk about how that's the truth.
No, seriously, because I'm like, how did y'all let him cast a spell and nobody did anything?
No,
nobody said anything.
Because if I was standing there and I watched
he was a man,
the day pricking blood, the day
you right though, D, he was a man.
My former free slave, like
ain't nobody pricking. If I already done made it to freedom, I'm going straight to Toronto. So I'm not coming with y'all. I'm getting the fuck out of here.
You're not gonna go further south.
No, hell no. I'm going to Mexico, or not Mexico, Canada, the other way. The other way. I'm going to Toronto because y'all got me fucked
okay,
up
so
already.
what creeps me out the most though about this story?
And then look at this tree. Look at the bottom of the base of this shit.
Why can't we find anything on Eli blood? That's what I want to look up.
That's my thing. I have been looking all afternoon. Like you don't understand. When I first heard about this story, I was like, okay, everything else was checking out because when they were doing this witch shit, they weren't playing about documenting it. But I'm like, how did you track back a blood family to Salem, Massachusetts? And Tom Smith there, but not Eli? And no one heard from Cora again? I don't know what the fuck these motherfuckers had going down. But it was going down yelling Tim.
So there were no remains or anything.
At the bottom of the base of it.
What the? Oh yeah, you don't have to
split and it just continued to grow.
Wow.
Oh no, they said the lightning. That's where it hit.
That's where it split.
And they say the rope was still around it, but of course she wasn't, and the baby was really.
But so the tree didn't die either. That's my thing.
Yeah, that's the weird thing. Because a tree. I remember when I lived in Florida. Lightning split a tree behind my house.
It usually dies out.
It usually dies.
Or stops,
it ended up doing that.
Yeah, or stunts its growth.
The other half stayed up, but it like eventually died. Like a year later, you noticed it was like easy to break apart, and we used to play with it.
That tree's supposed to be from 1700, so that means that it's been growing strong. Like, whoa,
strong as
madam,
oak tree.
Madam. Well.
That's crazy.
So if anybody can find anything about Eli Blood, it's definitely has to be
send it our way.
But I'm gonna quit saying his name because I feel like if I say it again,
show up behind
like
you.
Beetlejuice,
Candyman.
Oh, don't say it anymore.
Bloody Mary.
D. D, we gonna cut you off. Remember, I have the power to mute your ass. You gonna be the one with all the issues again.
Speaking of muting all the shit that happened last week.
Oh yeah.
Listen.
I was like,
I think I'm gonna like put that on our Instagram and see if we can get some people to figure it out for us. What do you think?
We're gonna get some people to unfollow us. They gonna be like, we ain't fucking with them.
We ain't fucking with these three. It's only this month, you guys. It's just this month we're doing the Spooktastic. And maybe Christmas when we talk about Krampus or something.
Oh, we have to. And then we'll also talk about some scary shit in Thanksgiving, like, right?
Yes, there's you know what it is? Like every holiday has some kind of grim situation
associated
with it. And this month is just the beginning. That's all.
So do you think it's just because it brings people together, and then the more masses there are, the greater the likelihood of something crazy happening because there's a higher population concentration of people?
Because there's lots and lots of places in other countries where there's many more people than it is like here, especially in the 1700s. If you think about it, it was colonizers versus like the indigenous people, but the colonizer like groups were tiny. They're just several hundred in each location, not like thousands, if you think about it. So I think like it's actually scarier because it's a small group of people with mob mentality. I think it's the other way, because when there's a lot more people, there's a lot more opinions and a lot more groups, so they kind of go at each other, kind of like what's going on right now in our social economic climate. But like I feel like
a lot of assuming and miscommunication, because I was reading something today about how some of the Spaniards were misinterpreting the hospitality by Native American tribes. Right. Because they're like, okay, we'll bring you this or do that, but it doesn't mean we're submissive people and you can just do what the fuck you want.
Right.
So then now you're operating in a certain way that's disrespectful to us, and the only way we know how to go about this is
we're gonna fuck you up.
Yeah, basically, which I feel like you have every right to. That's the real scary spectacular. White people coming over here and fucking shit up. That's the real scary shit. You want to talk about scary shit? Middle-aged white people, not all of y'all, because I don't come for me in the comments, because I'll tear your ass up. But throughout the
let's say a select group. There's always a select group.
Also known as select group of middle-aged white men. Countlessly, over and over again, in many different ways, have been the scariest motherfuckers alive.
Speaking of, I had to go through some shit yesterday, and I hate this topic because there's assholes across the board. I don't give a fuck what you look like. There's assholes. There's a collection of assholes, but I dealt with one specific asshole yesterday at my job.
Was it customer?
And oh God, yes.
Look at his face.
And he was about to drop an inbound, but he caught himself and switched it around. And used the word ethnic, and I almost fucking threw up. I was so fucking mad. I was like, but I had to keep it together.
Yeah.
And turn this face.
I mean, if he had dropped the M-bomb, you could have been like, you can go ahead and go across the street to the
Best Westerns next door. It's above me now.
It's above
but
me
he
now.
held it together. But yeah, I feel it. But I feel, you know, it's across the board, but I do feel what you're saying, Brandy. I feel it. Trust me, I feel it. Because when it happens, it happens.
Not to get too sidetracked, but it's like, I almost feel like even saying it's across the board goes into the same group of people being like, oh, well, Black people own slave too. It's like this watering down of the situation. Like, no, let's call a spade a fucking spade. This white privilege is real. This male white privilege is real, whether people want to realize it or not. And consciously and subconsciously, there's shit passed down that they don't want to acknowledge. And you're lightweight. I feel like some of them are lightweight okay with how shit's going because you're still somehow on top.
Of course.
So you don't want to shake it up too much. You don't really want equality because that means you got to take an L in a way that you're not used to. Because as soon as you get a taste of what it's like to really have a diverse environment, well, all of a sudden you're not special anymore, Connor.
That's spectacular. That's the spectacular. That is the spectacular
my
episode
nigga.
of the fucking century.
You know what though? It's true with women too. I just posted about this lady touching my earrings at the store the other day. I mean,
what is that?
And the dude who kicked the back of my shoe and wasn't even like, excuse me. And you know my ass is petty, so every chance I got, I've like followed him around for like 2 minutes and got my cart in his way and his mama's way for like 10 whole fucking minutes. I wasn't even mad about it. And the lady, girl, here's the thing, and I said this on my post too. One day I'm gonna be too tired to be polite on my end and to bend over so that y'all don't put me on blast and I don't get arrested. One day somebody gonna catch my hands at the wrong time because you came at me at the wrong day. Like, don't touch my fucking earrings. And like, when I posted that, one of my FB people commented, well, you know, and she was white, older lady. She was like, well, I understand people touch me all the time because of my tattoo. I was like, no. I was like, this is different context. She was like, what am I missing? I'm like, if you didn't have tattoos, nobody would touch you. I was like, if I wasn't wearing earrings, people touch my hair. If I'm not wearing my hair down, people touch my skin. If I'm not, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not the same context.
Then even when you have to explain that, like when I reposted about this mixed girl, whatever the fuck she is, I don't give a fuck what you mixed with. Like CJ
man,
said,
that shit was fucking great.
In this world, that's what I'm going off of. So you could be mixed with black all day long, but if you operating in this world,
she operating,
look, that's what I have a problem with. And there was a guy that I grew up with overseas. He was more so one of my brother's friends because he was younger. He's like, I don't see the big deal, and isn't she black and blah blah blah. And I'm automatically hurt and disappointed.
But that's colorism.
Like, you are black, so you should understand this. But then I'm also like, okay, let me think backwards on this, because you are a black male, and I'm not saying all black men think like this, but I have encountered a lot of them that give this leeway to everybody but a black woman, especially if you're black, because then you're special.
Yep.
You can say that again.
So they go into defending her, and I'm just like, do you have that same energy for us, the undeniably black women? Because I don't get
think
that
about all those guys.
I call it the driving Miss Daisy mentality.
I'm serious. Because think about all those people who stood up for Amber Rose after she was like, I'm black too. And then she did that whole walk of shame thing. And I'm like, but this wouldn't be the same if it was somebody darker than her.
Right.
It wasn't mixed. Like,
or
you know
even
what
one
I'm saying?
of these basketball wives that I guess started like,
Lord.
And another one called them out. And then now all of a sudden she's like, well, I'm Afro-Latina. But then people are like, you was never saying that before. It was all Puerto Rico this or whatever that. And it's like, see, that's what I can't deal with. That's the real scary shit. When you get to tap in and
this is why I understand where you come from, because I'm mixed, obviously. I'm fucking light as fuck. And I realize that a lot of people, especially women who are in my skin tone, a little bit lighter, a little bit darker, definitely use whatever to their advantage instead of saying, yes, I'm half black and half whatever. They're like, no, I'm this. Just Amber. I didn't even know Amber Rose was part black till I saw her in her fucking documentary that Oprah did.
And it's not, and her black ain't even black. Like, it's off the coast of Africa.
It's like
Blizzak. I think it's Blizzak. Like, oh, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I think she should be proud of that. I don't think you parade around and then use it when it's convenient for you.
That's my thing.
That's like, the problem.
If you're about it, be about it, you know?
Right, but they're not about it. You're about, again, everybody want to be.
And if it's not a topic, then just don't let it be a topic. Just be like, I am what I am, and don't worry about it.
It's like they wear it as an accessory, and it's like, this is not an accessory for me. This is what I look like. You know, my skin, my hair texture, whatever. It's like, this is me. So you kind of using the braids or the dreads or the, what do they call the boxer braids that year? Do you remember that shit?
Oh my God.
Not boxer braids. Or even stuff that would be associated with a certain culture. Not saying that you can't look like it, because then that gets a little hairy too, but it's just disheartening when the shit that's considered ghetto on us, like the hair colors and the long nails, all of a sudden is the trendy shit on people that don't look like us.
Right.
That's frustrating as hell. That
is the shit. Supreme definition of appropriation. That's what I think.
And then when you have to defend it and explain it, because not only do they not get it.
Some of them are doing it to everybody. Like Kim K came out with that fucking kimono line. I about lost my fucking mind. Not only
got her.
Does she even know like what the colors represent, and like, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's different types of kimonos.
You already know that you don't.
You know what I mean?
Like just us being.
Thought the name was cute and was like, we're going with it.
Yeah, and it's not. I'm already like upset about what we call the kimonos to like put over our clothing that everybody is selling. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna let that slide. At least it's like a regular floral print fashion statement, and they're calling it kimono jackets. Okay, but when you take something that's completely different, that's like undergarments, they look like fucking, you know, They're just like bras and lingerie.
Yeah,
and
that's not kimono at all.
It's
Kimono
not even
is
close. It's a very, very special garb that like Japanese and Okinawan people wear, and it's not cool to do.
And it looks beautiful and very expensive.
It's fucking
very
expensive. Oh my
very
God.
expensive.
I saw one that was kind of draped and looked like it had a hood here. I was like, bitch, you better do it. It was gorgeous.
Oh yeah, so the
gorgeous.
sexiest way to wear it is to have the collar pushed back as much as possible. Like
that's what she had, because it looked like it was like dipped in the back.
The nape is supposed to be like the sexiest part when you wear a kimono. That's why they do that.
Oh,
CJ knows.
Makes sense.
Of course, CJ knows.
So at the place where I work, they have a Kama Sutra. Well, it's not Kama Sutra, but I guess it's the Japanese take on Kama Sutra. And you see that in the book. I'm like, what's that all about? But you just made it make sense.
Yep, it's just slip on that. Anyway, we're gonna get back on track.
So but that was just a preview of like this race episode we keep promoting. Because clearly that's gonna be like a month-long series.
Clearly.
We got to do that in June.
Okay.
Juneteenth.
Can we wait that long?
We'll see. I mean, we're gonna have to hit it up in February. I already know that.
Yeah.
At least one or two, and then we'll hit it hard in June with a lot of history in June. How about that?
Oh, and I have some great
have you guys inventors and everything.
Columbus?
Yes.
Huh?
What? We're all like, huh? What? Now everybody talk over each other.
Right.
But what I thought was very interesting. I'm not sure. This is really off topic. You know, Emmy Made in Japan. Have you heard of her?
Emmy what?
Her Emmy Made in Japan. She's like she does YouTube videos most of her stuff is heavily culinary based, and she did a Juneteenth episode. And
that sounds really familiar.
So dope.
I'm gonna have to look her up. I feel like I've seen a couple of her videos though, because if she cooks,
she pops up randomly. Pops up randomly on my feed.
That's probably.
And she pops up randomly on everybody's feed. She's all over the place. But yeah, she did a Juneteenth episode, and I was like, mad props.
We gotta do.
Shout out to Emmy Made in Japan.
We definitely have to do one. Okay, so next part. Since we started off with the Cora the witch, or allegedly, let me say. How about we talk about somebody who people consider a witch right now, Miss? What is her name? No, not me. I mean, maybe a little bit, just a little bit. No, Marina, I can't say her name really fast without thinking about Abramovic. Is that how you say it? Abramovic?
I'd have to know where she was from to say
she's
it right.
Serbian.
Abramovic.
Yeah, she's the lady who's pretty famous for doing weird performance arts, making weird film, Is
she the one that was in that room that was still in that room and allowed people to do stuff to her?
She was.
She was naked and standing still. Wasn't her?
No, I don't remember that.
No. She's the one with the spirit cooking, like Lady Gaga, Jay-Z.
And before she was in the Jay-Z video, she was doing this kind of live performance art where she would invite people to sit in front of her, and they're just staring into each other's eyes.
Yeah, it's just weird as fuck.
But people would like come and do that over and over again, which is also
stealing their souls.
Man, listen.
Listen. This lady is considered. She is considered by a lot of celebrities as this like amazing art performance person, and she's done like lots of parties with exclusive people. I think there's a very famous picture going around with like an actual model laying in a pool of either chocolate or like what looks like blood, but obviously not real blood. But like Lady Gaga is standing next to her with a spoonful of whatever is in the tub in her mouth, and like Mariana is also like trying to scoop out of it, and like the party went on to where they had cakes and stuff made to look like humans. They cut them up and like feed the people. You've seen that. I know you have. Yeah. And then during dinner, when where they're sitting, there's like live, like I guess people who got hired to just be in the table with their head like above the table, so it looks like their heads are plated, but they're alive, so they're just like moving around still. Like they do like these weird.
I had to bring up a picture.
Spiritual. There it is. Yep, there it is. Like it's a lot. It's a lot. And so like she's like pretty much what I would consider a real life siren or witch right now. Like, I don't know how else to explain it. She's like, and you know, she's 72.
Yeah.
Look at how she looks, though.
Look at her looking at 72. That's her and Jay-Z.
Yep, that's her and Jay-Z. And you know, when you touch people forehead to forehead.
I think that's the lady.
Is it? When you touch people forehead to forehead, you know what you're doing right there, right? Like, you can't.
Oh, you're touching your two. What's the name of it?
Your fucking
your
third
eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not the greatest. I don't know how she like got away with all of that. And she has a huge ties to the child pedophile ring also, or they say.
How?
So a lot of people who are associated with her, like she was associated with Podesta too. Like he shows up, there's emails between him and her, like people talking about, you know, the Pizzagate stuff with all those code words in it, like going back and forth and having dinner parties and things like that. Like they just kept going. And have you seen, like, they literally, this is the one that got me every time. And this is, what's that look like to you? I don't know if you can see. Oh, wait, hold on. That just cleared out. Like, so basically, isn't that like what they did to slaves? That's a black dude up against a tree, covered in whatever they covered him in, and they're just looking at him. And I think they were getting ready to do something, but they didn't go into.
What the fuck?
Yeah, they didn't go into like details with it.
Art.
Like, everybody calls this art. Like, that's the problem that I have. It's not art. It doesn't feel like anything. And the only like official accounts you can find of hers is something that's associated with her institute. It's the MAI. Is literally, her name is Marina Abramovic Institute, and it has all her like artwork and all the things that she does. This is on Instagram if you guys want to look it up and see for yourself. But there's this poem that she wrote that was really gross to me. And I can't, where is it? Let me find it for you. Like, I don't know if I want to read it out loud.
Yeah, I was like, girl, I don't think you
do I want to read it out loud?
I don't think we want you to.
I mean, maybe I'll just do a couple of lines from it, and people who are interested.
Black Jesus, save us. Save us, Tom
Cruise.
Tom Cruise.
That Tom Cruise. Wait, but why Tom Cruise? Is he like Scientology? I don't know.
No, that was just my Talladega Nights reference because started running around. He's like, "Save me with your black magic."
I can't, not black magic. Tom Cruise. Like, and the fact that she looks like she's not aging very much is what creeps me out too.
She did this performance piece in the 80s, I think, with whoever her partner was at the time. Where
she's had a lot of ex-husbands too, by the way.
A knife or a gun to her or something like that. Like, they were using each other's weight like to pull away from each other. It was a bow and arrow. Sorry,
that's what they were like doing this. Yeah, they were holding
for
on
like hours or something fucking crazy, and it was like this close to her heart. And I'm like, what the fuck did you do that for?
Are you sure? I think this is the same lady.
It might be.
She sat in a room still. And then the rule was like it was a free for all. See, she was, as long as she was doing the art piece, you could do whatever you wanted to her. She was standing there naked.
Sorry, that was my phone.
Oh, okay.
I need to turn that off. My bad.
But she was like standing there naked, and then you could like touch her wherever you wanted to. You can push her, you could shove her, you could cut her, and someone cut her and drank her blood.
You know what? You're right, Dee. You are correct. That is one of the things that happened. Is that one connected to Shia LaBeouf before he went crazy?
This one was way back a long time ago, like in the 70s or 80s, maybe. We
gotta look that up. He got a movie coming out about how he grew up. So to me, the way I know this industry works, I'm like, he gonna watch. You start talking too much.
Well.
Yeah, and I always found that weird with him. The way he acted after he started, I don't know if he was talking too much before.
Oh, I don't know if he was being. Those Transformers movies, I took it
as it was him being punished, like the way he was acting and sitting in that room and crying and all that crazy shit. I'm like, is he being punished by these people?
I think
that's how I took it. Yeah.
Because didn't he say that some girl came in and basically raped him too?
He said a lot of stuff that people were saying he was crazy for. And of course, at the time when I ain't know no better, I'm like, man, he just can't handle Hollywood. It's like, no, there's fucked up shit that happened to you.
Yeah.
And that your parents allowed happen to you. Because you got to remember, he started off in Even Stevens on the Disney Channel as a kid.
Right.
Years
and
ago.
Holes or whatever too, right?
And then he was in Holes. Shout out to Holes. And then he was he started doing the Transformers and in a big
scale. Right
after that movie Eagle Eye about how the government's watching
I was just getting to that.
That was it.
So when he did Eagle Eye, one of the people that was working on the set with him was a former agent or something, or a current agent. But either way, he said that like when he was filming, he was telling this agent guy, like, this is crazy. There's no way all of this is happening. And so the agent played back like a phone call that he had from like 3 years ago. And played it back. And the agent told him that every 5th phone call that everybody makes is getting recorded. No matter who you are. Basically, isn't that some crazy shit? Dude,
nice.
We all screwed.
Well, I don't know about screwed, but they're like, these are nasty motherfuckers.
Right. It's like enjoy the phone sex, assholes.
Gatorade bottles.
Gatorade bottles.
So I found the poem. It's literally called "Spirit Cooking" by Marina. And here, the first 3 lines are already fucked up. Tell me to stop if you.
Why are you gonna read it though?
Because this is our fucking Bloctober Spooksville Spectacular, and we're supposed to.
Is it that bad?
It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. So this is a warning. If you want to skip past this, please do. It's not for everyone, and I understand that. But you know what? This is the triangle, and we're not safe for work or your brain. Anyway, we warned you when we started. We warned you. And this month ain't no different. It's just in a weird place this month. Okay, so first line, it says, mix fresh milk from the breast with fresh milk of the sperm. Drink on earthquake nights. On your knees, clean the floor. With your breath, inhale the dust. Wish your bed sheets in lemon juice.
That's it.
Do what with the lemon juice?
Wash your bed sheets in lemon juice. Cover the pillow with sage leaves. Should I keep going? There's only a few more lines. With a sharp knife, cut deeply into the middle finger of the left hand. Eat the pain. Facing the wall, eat 9 red hot peppers. Take uncut 13 leaves of green cabbage with 13,000 grams of jealousy. Steam for a long time in deep iron pot till all water evaporates. Eat it just before attack. Fresh morning urine.
Attack.
Yep. Fresh morning urine. Sprinkle over nightmare dreams. Boy.
So the fresh morning urine sprinkled over nightmare dreams sounds like one of those weird things we see on one of those Japanese cards.
Shut up. I hate you so much.
Do you remember that? We'd be like, what the fuck?
It's just like, and then so she also does art with all of these, but look at, I don't know if you can see the symbols that she painted onto the walls and stuff. Like, definitely a pentagram.
She knows what she's doing.
Yeah, she does. Like, that's what I'm saying, though. Like, she doesn't.
And then I think some people don't even understand who she is or what she's capable of or what she's done.
So people are so caught up in what other people say. Oh, yeah. She's great.
Yeah,
she's
exactly.
fabulous.
When you get in, and I know you know this, DB, and in Vegas, I feel like they just sell each other on their own bullshit.
They do.
Their show, you have to go to this exhibit. It's just wonderful, and then you'll start thinking you're tripping because you.
And I was told that just about art in general. Like, art is based off of what is based off the consumer. Mm-hmm. I can create some bullshit. If somebody with money purchases it, that's the price.
Dude, I can
they set the price point.
Take this can and like crush it in a weird way, and they'd be like, $2 million. Like,
if somebody buys it for $2 million, then now it's worth $2 million. You see what I'm saying?
That's exactly
the consumer creates the price point.
You're right.
It's the craziest shit. But like, so now with the connections though, so this is just like the tip of the iceberg with her, is just that she's like part of the root of a tree, and it grows and grows and grows, and there's so many different people involved in this, and like obviously it's all allegedly. There's no like 100% proof, because nobody is going to be willing to step up and say anything, because then what happens? People start disappearing, people start missing. Like, you can't do that. So allegedly she's like just an artist. Allegedly, all these people are just consumers of her art. But the fact that it bothers me the most is like people like Jay-Z are connected. People like, you know what I mean? Like Lady Gaga are connected. And these people weren't always in her circle. But for whatever reason, the closer you get to people like this, the more famous they got. And that's why I have an issue with some of the fame that goes on, because they're
like,
not.
What does it take in order for you to get into that circle?
Yeah,
to get there and to stay there. Because it seems like you just kind of get around more and more people and things where it's like, damn, is this like the next level?
Right. Well, so my thing is, like, when people talk about selling their soul to get what they want, I think people take it too literally, because we're such a Christian-based community and society. You know what I mean? When they say they selling their soul, they mean they like stop living as a human being and doing all these other things to be taken in so they can grab and do whatever they want. Like, it's not literally putting your soul in a place. I guess it kind of is at the end of the day, because if you start doing,
it's not like Drag Me to Hell. I mean,
yeah, it's not literally. Yeah, it's not literally like that. I think a lot of people think that that's what they're doing when they sign their life away. No, when they say they're signing their life away, they're talking about giving up everything they knew that was good and to be right morally and, like, you know, in their beliefs. They gave up all of that, because I have seen some documentaries of especially a lot of Black folks who come out of the Hollywood area and decided not to be famous because they weren't about to do all of that. There's especially a lot of guys in the rap game who are like, nah, fuck this, son. You're not about
who
it.
I'm thinking about?
Put me in a dress.
I've always felt a way about Cat Williams.
Oh.
Everybody was calling him crazy and
man.
all type of stuff. And I'm like, or he encountered some shit he just really wasn't about.
There's one that I watched him talk about, how he was like, he learned his lesson and he was like, I'm not going to ever make fun of them again. I will be respectful to them, but I just won't join them, is what he said. That was out of his, I paraphrased obviously, but like that's exactly what he said. And he was like, I won't ever fuck with them niggas anymore. So he just put out a new thing on Netflix not so long ago. It's the same thing with Dave Chappelle. I know when he refused to put on that dress in the trailer that one day, that's when he lost his show. Like, and they were like, oh, it'll be funny. So there's a whole thing about Black males in Hollywood and how they have to lose their masculinity by putting on this dress. And all the niggas who did it are famous. And I can keep fucking.
I mean, and it goes on for
Eddie Murphy. Terry Crews,
Martin Lawrence with Shanae. I didn't even think about that.
So recently, he did the whole Big Mama's House, so he was Medea before.
Big Mama's House too, yeah.
Tyler Perry, everybody, like every Black comedian and large actor that I know of that I can think about. Especially, I don't know what it is with comedians. It feels specific to them, like
probably
they're.
But even Wesley Snipes.
Oh my God!
Yeah. Yeah,
I forgot all about that.
And like, you know, I feel like they do that to a lot of Black men. And
did that happen to Will Smith?
Yeah, he's done like a female thing. He does that dance too, like a woman. Remember, I'm gonna have to find it and send it to you. He's dressed up as a woman.
Yeah, 'cause I'm like,
in a skit on his show, like on Fresh Prince or whatever it is. And then, like, all the people, all the Black dudes, all the Wayans brothers on In Living Color, all of them.
Yeah, all of them.
I mean, like,
even Jim Carrey.
Everybody. And that's
was
like
a Black show, so it's like, you're involved in this.
And then you think about things like SNL, and it's very rare that any of the guys who were white were in a dress on that show.
What the fuck is that about? So is that about taking, like, putting you in your place, like, you know where you stand? Because this goes back to, because they were doing that shit back in the day, like
they were doing that in slave times.
Yeah, they were doing that shit way back then.
It's their way of keeping track. It's their way of keeping power. It's their way of saying we still in charge.
Because when I heard about the buck breaking shit, I said, what?
Yeah.
It was mandatory that you got banged in your ass. Like, that shit blew my mind.
Yeah.
I was like, wow. If they felt you were a threat.
There's a lot of
you
stuff.
thought you was, a strong dude.
They made sure because if you take they call them a buck, then that's another thing. Every black person was referred to in an animal way or trait or whatever.
A buck or a bitch.
Yeah, this is what I was telling the lady who was like, oh, people touch my tattoos. I was like, no, but particular people in the white community still see colored people as an animal, and that's why they feel so comfortable coming up and touching my fucking hair like they're petting a dog.
Right.
Like, I don't have time for that. Like, you really will catch these hands. You gotta watch out. It's a warning, guys. It's a warning.
Definitely a warning.
But I feel like they just kept going with it, and that's why it is the way it is right now. People think it's funny, or people think it's all right that these like young rappers are walking around with their jeans and their skirt on top of it, and none of these guys are claiming to be a different gender. That would be a whole nother story.
That's a whole nother story.
I'm not talking about anybody in the LGBTQ community, because y'all know we love you, and I mean, look at D here. So D's here.
He's still here.
It's still here. But what I mean is they're taking these cis black guys, and oh my god, they're pamming again. Okay. In 5 years, I wonder how many of these we're gonna have. Just hashtag pamming, taggering. Like, I can't.
I do want eventually D to get us together, just clips of us just doing stuff, and CJ always being like, "Guys, focus." And it's just like a
stop.
But it's a minute of CJ. No, stop.
It's gonna be like 10 minutes long. Are you kidding? Already, I bet I could get 10 minutes of that put together. Like,
yeah, that probably wouldn't be nothing.
No, so it's crazy, and kind of working off of that, segueing from the Marina stuff, that's how I feel about the Kardashians too. I think we talked about it before. Is everybody who goes into their household who's a male gets fucked up, and that's very
all of them.
And that's
but get this, it's almost all the guys that they get with. And we all have a little bit of a fucked up background that we come from, but it's traumatic shit. Like, both of Scott's parents are dead. Kanye West's mom dead. I don't know what the fuck's up with Tristan Thompson. I know Lamar Odom's whole shit was other shit going on. It no one ever seen really together coming in there. It was already you already got a lot of shit kind of broken up about you, and then they get linked in with them,
and then get caught up in their
funny
shit.
Enough, I heard today, or I sent it to another friend, that I guess it premiered on some episode of Keeping Up with Kardashians, but I don't watch the show. And Kanye was going off about Kim and what she had on at some award show because he wasn't feeling it. And it's easy to look at something like that and be misogynistic. She's a woman, she can wear what she wants, whatever. But I also feel if this whole resurgence back to God is a real thing for you, the shit that you was with before, you're not gonna be able to do it.
If he's coming back,
those circles you used to be in, how she's dressed, all this stuff you were fine with before.
It's not about
going to turn you off. Spiritually, you were going to be I can't. It's going to cause friction and conflict because they're so used to living it.
I mean, let's be real. I'm all for wear whatever you want, dress however, put on whatever. But let's be real. They do take it to an extreme. It's extreme sexiness, and that's cool. That's their MO. That's fine. But like you said, if he's coming to, and I've seen a few of his little Kanye church situations online. If he's actually coming through with that, then maybe.
I'm if this is real, it's going to cause drama. But I guess.
And what if? Because every guy that leaves there is they come back to themselves. You know what I'm saying? And I think we talked about how what's his name? I can't even remember his guy name anymore. Caitlyn Jenner.
Oh, okay.
He is wishing that he didn't she hadn't done what she did to her body. There's so many interviews now that are popping up about her not doing that, not wanting to be a woman anymore.
I did not know that.
Which is crazy to me because she was so gung-ho.
Well, yeah.
You won Woman of the Year. What more could you have?
It was still
wanted
tripping
to
me
do?
out.
I know.
I'm we can't have shit.
But here's another thing. Since you mentioned Kanye and the mom, and we're talking about Marina Abramovic and spirit cooking and stuff, I always thought it weird how his mom passed away.
Always.
like
always,
because allegedly it was like a surgical error from liposuction, right? Wasn't that very similar to somebody else's mom? Is it Usher?
It was Usher. That's
right?
Exactly what I was thinking about. It was Usher, and then get this, I want to say shortly after that or before that or something like that, his wife almost like died overnight, and then I think her son from a previous relationship, or either one of their kids together, like died in a jet ski thing. Like it was
so like weird. With the whole thing, like the Usher's mom and Kanye's mom, like both passing away for the lipo thing, and I'm trying to figure out.
Usher's mom passed away.
Huh?
I'm late.
You are so late.
His mom passed.
While back.
His life was about to die from trying to get liposuction or something done.
I know. Kanye's mom died.
Yeah, that's what we were talking about. So like. So my thing is though, like if this whole Marina thing is real in Hollywood and people really do sacrifices, like I feel like maybe there's something to it. There's family members missing, dying. Like I still remember the clip of me watching Cardi B talking about her cousin. Like who do I need to give up? My cousin who? Like have you guys seen that? I'm gonna have to find it. Because she was joking, she was rapping about yeah, well that's what I'm saying. She was rapping about the natty nat is what I call them. I don't actually say their name and don't say it out loud because YouTube will shut us down.
Oh yeah.
The lighted ones, I should say, I guess. Mm-hmm. And if you can't figure it out,
sparkly bitches.
The sparkly bitches.
Sparkles though.
But like, you know, there's a lot of theories, and I know they're just theories and alleged stories, but I feel like there's too many.
So why the fuck will YouTube take us down?
So there's I'm gonna have to send you guys a list of words we can't use as we go along.
Oh man, don't do that because then we're gonna want to use them.
I know you guys do.
DJ, that's like going in front of a kid.
Well,
and be
so like YouTube actually demonetizes videos with certain keywords and things like that. Not that we're very monetized or anything. We're sponsored through Anchor with my buttery voice at the beginning, guys. Go back and listen to it.
Buttery.
Speaking of buttery, no.
What? I don't even want to know. I don't know.
No, it wasn't going to be anything like that. I honestly didn't have anything gross to say.
Oh, okay.
I'm just surprisingly feeling like I'm about to crash.
Well, yeah, it's a long time. Should we do Dee's grandma story and call it a night tonight?
My grandma's story, the creepy yard sale.
Yeah,
Brandy, I'm surprised I've never told you the story.
I can't believe you never.
To be fair, you probably have, and also to be fair, I probably wasn't listening.
Oh God!
Well, citizens of the world, prepare your ears for this creepy ass story. I feel like I've told the world this, but
you probably have.
I have already. Get ready for round 2 because I'm about to tell this shit again. So what happened was, back in the late, I want to say this is maybe the late 80s or the early 90s, I believe it was. My grandma and her sister, my Aunt Linda, shout out, hey, TT.
Hey, Aunt Linda.
TT.
So they, so from where my house was, because I was living with my grandma at the time, I was like maybe, this is before I started school. Even up until I was going to school, my Aunt Linda always lived down the street a little bit. She lived maybe like 10 houses down across the street. So they were very, very close. And my Aunt Linda would always come over and they would just talk shit to each other, like how sisters do. They would just talk mad shit to each other. Like you would think they were arguing, but this is just their day-to-day talk. Mm-hmm. And then they would go get the penny saver and look at
not the penny saver.
Yeah. Penny saver and look at the yard sales. I don't know if people still do this, but you could advertise your yard sale that you're going to have a garage sale.
Yeah, they do that even online now.
Yeah, I've seen people do it on Craigslist and stuff.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but like they had it in like this is like prehistoric days, so it was like in the penny saver. So they're like, oh well, whose yard sale are we going to hit up today?
Uh-huh.
So they went to one. I'm not sure if those of you guys put in the IE. Shout out to the people from the IE, my San Bernardino people.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Oh my God, you guys are perfect.
So there was it was not too far from E Street, the infamous scary ass E Street, but not too far from there. There was another street, is where the house was located. Mm-hmm. So they went to this house that they found in the ad in the Penny Saver.
Mm-hmm.
It was a creepy ass lady, and all they talked about was how scary this lady was.
Dude,
how
just
creepy
so
she was.
You know, you froze for a second.
No, even before this, your stuff was going in and out.
Oh damn! Sorry.
Like even before you really got started.
It's deep.
But
you guys.
It's me.
Definitely.
Sorry,
deep.
I carry this bullshit around me. It's probably my grandma. Like, yeah, this shit was nuts. She's probably like egging me on. Like, yo, tell him next.
Tell him next.
Tell him this part. No. But anyways, so they ended up going to this yard sale. My grandma bought these little angel figurines. She bought 2. My Aunt Linda bought one little, it was like a plush pig that she bought. It was a plush pig, and then, I don't know. Mm-hmm. She thought it was cute, so she took it home.
Right.
So they ended up going to the house. My grandpa he got one solid look at these little figurines. Mm-hmm. He was like, get that shit out of my house right now. That shit looks creepy as fuck. I don't want it in here. And she put it on the nightstand. She put one on her side and one on his side. He was like, get this shit from my side. I don't want this shit. This shit looks creepy as fuck. I don't want it. She's like, oh, shut the hell up. There's nothing wrong with it. I just picked it up at a garage sale today. It's fine.
Right.
So a few days go by. My grandpa comes home. He gets in the bed. And he said the little fucking angel started moving. Yes. Like moving around and shit. So he was like, see, this is the shit I was talking about. This is the fucking shit I'm talking about. Grandpa's Caribbean and shit. So he's, you know how that goes.
Yes.
He was like, no, get that shit up out of here. So told my grandma. So she ends up seeing the shit too. She takes the shit out the backyard. She breaks it up did she break it up first?
It's better not.
I think one was broken. One was broken up. The other one, she said, I'm taking it back to the lake.
Yeah.
Because they had to go back to this house. She was like, I need to take this shit back. No, my grandpa told her to break it up. That's what it was. He told her to break it up in a bunch of pieces. She was like, no, we can't do it. That's what it was. Mm-hmm. We can't break it up. It's going to make it worse. We need to take it back. So she calls her sister and was like, yo, that plush pig that you bought from this garage sale, what's going on with it? Did it start oinking? Like, was it saying boo-boo? What the fuck was going on with this damn pig? She was like, no, it didn't make any noises or anything weird. She said, but the shit smells like rotting flesh. She's like, every day that goes by, this pig smells worse and worse. And she said, it's like the smell of a dead body. She's like, at first, I thought it was me tripping. She said, I thought maybe like a mouse or some shit got in the house and died or something. So she's tripping out. And she was like, where the fuck is this smell coming from? The smell is coming from this fucking plush pig. But she was like, it did not smell like this the first time. The day she bought it, it didn't smell like that. She said when she bought it, she remembered holding it like close to her. She said it did not have any smell at all.
Right.
And as the days go by, it smells more and more like rotting flesh. She's like, I didn't want to say nothing because I thought I was tripping until her son said something. I was like, Mom, what the fuck's that smell? It's coming like from over here where that damn pig is at. She was like, oh, this shit gotta go. So she went over to my grandma's house. They rode together back to that same neighborhood to go take the items back that they purchased. And they couldn't find the fucking house. The house was not there. It was gone. Wasn't there. When they pulled up to the address was there. There was no house. It was an empty lot. So they are tripping balls. Like, what the fuck is going on? So they go to the neighbors that they see outside. Like, when did this house like disappear? Because we were just here like a few days, like a week ago. They're like, it hasn't been a house here for years. What are you talking about? That house burned down a long time ago. They were like, whose fucking house were we at when we bought this shit? This is the address. This is the Penny Saver listing. Couldn't find the shit. Couldn't find anything. The shit's just gone. No record of anything.
I'm dead.
I'm sure that's how they felt too. They were like, what the fuck?
I can't.
So
like, what?
They took the items and they left them at the place. They got in the car, bounced, never went back to that neighborhood again.
What the
fuck was that shit about? And they kept talking about how creepy the lady was. Like, this lady was so fucking weird, but they kind of felt obligated to buy shit, I guess, because nobody else was there. So they were like, okay, well, I'll just grab these little fucking figurines. Let me grab this plush pig. Just little shit that they saw that they might like, little knickknacks. And comes home and the shit's dancing and moving and shit. and smelling like a dead ass body. Like that's some crazy shit.
Whole house is gone. Hell no.
Whole house was never there. So where the fuck were you at? What dimension did you go to grab these fucking?
I don't have time for that. No, thank you.
Nobody has time for that.
Nobody has time for that.
Shout outs to San Bernardino, California.
Boy, no thanks. No thanks. Weird stuff. I don't.
Weird shit.
I don't know how much further we want to go into this weird stuff today. How are we feeling today?
I am like surprisingly tired. I think it's because I did too much in the gym today.
Be working it out.
Working out pretty consistently. I'm trying to get ready in the fall so I can shine all summer.
No, I'm done. I'm so done.
Hot girl summer 2020.
Well, do you guys want what?
Yeah. Summer, spring. Let's take
summer.
A trip in spring.
Nigga, we trying to save for a wedding. Stop it.
To spring? Is that what he said?
If the trip is coming to Dallas, then I'll be here.
They might have a layover in Dallas and then we can trip it up.
I'm just saying. Oh my God. No, seriously.
Huh?
I said, why?
What? Oh, because there's really, really cheap plane tickets in spring. For those of you all that don't know, March has really cheap tickets.
They do.
March and November. But I had a friend of mine ruin my vacation coming up next month.
Can y'all hear these damn dogs in my neighborhood today?
I can't.
Okay, good. I keep hearing them. It's been dogs all day. My one of my friends who lives out here today, she went out and was taking her dog out to pee or whatever, and her dog got surrounded by like 3 pit bulls today. And she was like, I don't know, it was weird. She's never seen them. And then I was out here in my house, just like doing my thing, working on stuff. And I hear rustling in the window behind me. This is a window right here. And I was like, what the fuck? And there's like 2 stray dogs all up in my yard and shit. Like it's been like, and there's dogs barking. And I don't know if I'll hear it when I like go to post-production, but they have been barking the entire time we've been recording. Like I can't.
But that's weird.
I can't.
Are you sure they're dogs or is it a
nigga? If you bet, you better not.
Oh my God. It's a gang of chupacabras outside our house.
A gang of chupacabras outside the house. But yo.
Well, my ass is more brown than anything else, so my ass is not about to go outside to check like other counterparts that we have.
And if you do go check, make sure you shoot their ass because chupacabra meat is delicious, by the way.
Shut up.
Yes, it's really good. I made some empanadas.
Oh.
With their ass, it was delicious.
I hate you so much. Well,
so tender.
I think we're gonna wrap it up and call it a night. I think the next couple of episodes we'll get some more stories, and I think the witching hour stuff is great, so we'll call it a day. But so as usual, if you guys enjoy listening to us on our podcast on your platform, make sure you subscribe so you can get a new episode every week. If you're watching our craziness, well, their craziness on YouTube, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe and hit that notification bell so that you get a new episode. Our episodes drop every Thursday at noon Central Time. Don't miss out. This month is nothing but spooky stories and random shit in between as usual. I don't know what's happening in this right now. Brandy's pretending to sleep and Dee is doing some kind of voodoo dance. So I'm just gonna leave it at that. On that note, hope everybody has a wonderful Bloctober Spooksville month. Stay safe and don't do anything too crazy. It's that time of the month. Oh girl, what was that? Something fell.
Also, remember the average adult needs about 7 to 19 hours of sleep.
Not 19. Not 19.
I'm so tired.
I'm so done. Okay. On that note, y'all have a safe, wonderful night or day.
Bye.
Bye.